So welcome to another episode of Junkyards and Barnfinds with Sean, and I'm Sean.
All right, guys, we have featured Burt Reynolds' actual Trans Am, the 77, the one he owns, and we featured a couple other ones, but we've never featured one of the 79 TAs. Absolutely gorgeous. How you doing? All right, guys, we've had the cars on, but we've never had people that look like they should be in the car during the movie. So my name's Sean.
I'm Kurt.
You're Kurt.
I'm Michelle.
Michelle. And so this is actually, you guys were dressed up as if you were in the first movie.
The first movie, remember? Well,
Okay.
Yeah, this is the attire from the moment they met on the highway when he picked her up.
Right, when he called her Frog.
Frog.
All right, there you go.
Exactly.
So, and they're dressed up because you said you were going to go to, if you want to see this car and meet you guys.
It's going to be at the Gasparilla Concord the Elegance on December 3rd over at
TPA
Golf Course.
Golf Course. TPA Golf
Okay.
Course. On Luke's Lakefront.
Yeah, it was an invite only thing, and you have to have a stock car, and send in our credentials.
Okay, so there you go. So if you guys want to see his car, meet these guys in person, maybe get some pictures or something. They're going to be dressed just like they are now. So in the movie, that's going to be fun.
It's our practice run.
It's actually this car is in the current issue of Motoring Tampa Bay magazine.
Okay.
And my wife's car, her Bel Air, is in last month's.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
You guys don't publish that magazine, do you?
No, but it's up around. You can pick it up.
Okay. I just know you were the publishers, and like, yeah, we publish a magazine, we put our cars on.
No.
All right, so tell me a little bit, because this thing is perfectly stock.
Yes, it is.
So
it's a top to bottom restore, found in Connecticut, in a barnyard in Connecticut. A man in Pennsylvania bought it, and I bought it because I had one back in 1983 that got totaled a couple times. And after 35 years without a car, I said, you know what? I need a new hobby. I want my car back.
Now, is it a restored or
is it restored?
So it is restored.
It was a Barnfind. Yeah, it's a top to bottom restore.
So somebody had to put all those decals on that thing.
Somebody, it's as shiny on the bottom
patience.
as it is on top, and it'll never be on a wet pavement because I will not go underneath it and clean the raindrops off.
Gotcha. And what's the engine in it then?
It is the 79, or actually they were built in 78, the W72 400 Pontiac. It's the last year for the 400 Pontiacs. And actually in 79 when they put them in there, they were leftovers from 78. So they have 1107 like this one out of this 117,000 built that year.
Okay.
And this is a matching numbers car. It has the Borg Warner Super T10 manual 4-speed transmission, the factory Hurst shifter. It's a Y84 package, special edition package with the Fisher T-tops, 4-wheel disc brakes, 323 posi rear end. It's the real thing.
And the thing with this year, because a lot of it was the 77 that was in the first
Correct.
one. But nobody really knew the Trans Am was about to get canceled back then.
Yep.
So they weren't known as Bandits because the Bandit hadn't come out yet.
Right.
So this is actually the first model that was known as a Bandit Trans Am.
Everybody calls it that. I don't know. I still think the 77 was the Bandit. But
But nobody knew they were Bandits. So if you went in 1977 into a Pontiac that's on a Bandit Trans Am, they're like, "What are you talking about? It's a movie hadn't come
makes
out."
sense.
But when you went in after that and said, "I want a Bandit Trans Am,"
Yeah.
everybody knew these are what they were.
that's
And these
right.
are the ones that Burt Reynolds actually. This is the one when he was in the ads for. Because they didn't have him in the ads for the 77 because
the movie hadn't been out yet.
And I don't know if you guys know, but Burt Reynolds was promised one by Pontiac, and then the CEO changed and they never gave him
Really?
one.
Rude.
He had to go buy one. the one that's in the National Parts Depot up in Ocala, he has the original Bert's car, which he got after Bert passed away. And he actually had to buy that one because they wouldn't give him a car, even though in the contract Pontiac said they would.
That wasn't fair.
That's bad news.
Yeah, and they only used 5 in the first movie, and by the
Jump scenes and everything.
everything, and by the time the movie was over, the ones were like Franken cars because they had to steal parts just to have them running. And in that last scene when he pulls away with it, that car, they had to like start like 30 times because it wouldn't hardly move anymore. So, but
I did not know that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
that movie made this car famous, and that's why we're dressed like this. Because at Concord the Elegance, we're gonna dress like this because the Trans Am was basically unknown.
And how many times when you have this car out just driving around, people come up and mention the words Smokey and the Bandit?
They say Bandit. Everybody's like, there's a Bandit.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, this is like a known car. This is like a James Bond car.
Right. That's why, in fact, the 79 this year for these, even though there was only 1,107 that are actually like this car that I have, there were 117,000 sold, the biggest year ever for the Pontiac Trans Am.
And this is an original black gold.
Yeah.
This is
matching numbers. This everything matches on this. The numbers on the engine, everything. It was one of the 1,107.
so this was a Bandit when somebody came in and said, I want this one. And it's early, you said, because it has the early engine in it from the previous year.
It has say that they only, like I said, there were 78 motors, W72s. They actually labeled them L78s in 79, but it was the same. It was the W72 motor. The numbers on it are the W72 numbers. It's printed W72.
And they're high output, what they considered back
They
in
were, well,
what you could do
Pontiac said it was a 220 horsepower.
Right.
And Hot Rod dynoed it at 280, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, and it was the WS6 handling package on it, which Car and Driver labeled the best handling package for 1979.
Yeah. Well, it's absolutely stunning, and we're gonna go take a look at it. So, would you open the hood so we could see it real quick? I know they look way better. This is one of the few cars you want the hood closed, because it just, you see the giant, the screaming chicken there.
Yeah, when it's lifted up, you don't ever see that.
Yeah. So, but if I don't ask, the guys that are watching are gonna be, how come you didn't ask to open the hood? So that is an original. And that's why you're going Concourse, because it's all original.
There's one thing that's right there.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. But
Everything else is right out of the factory.
right.
Yeah.
And it's just not, you don't open it up and see like a 455 with headers and all this.
No.
This is
I'm keeping it that way.
Yeah.
I could have, when I wanted to go back and get a show car,
right.
I could have got one of those $100,000 ones where they put a 700 horsepower motor in it and a 6-speed transmission. I was like, you know what? This is the car I had in the 80s. This is the one I want.
Yeah,
today.
I mean, you're not drag race. You bought it for what it is.
Yeah.
So it's for your memory as well as, for what it is.
It'll run.
So
Every once in a while I test it out. It'll still do a 4-seater scratch at about 100.
So you gotta do a video now. Now that you all got the costume, you gotta have somebody do the video where you do the burnout and spin around and the 360.
Cut a little cookie with it.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you all for talking to us. Hey guys, if you love this TA or you have any comments, please put them down, and please subscribe. So thank you very much, and here's April. April, should they subscribe to this channel even if they don't like cars today for this one?
Probably just for this one.
Where it says merchandise store right here, merchandise store link, you will see it says https:/junkyards-barn-finds, and you click on that and it's going to take you here.